Okay, so recently I did a video on Kyle Rittenhouse's bail bond, comparing his bond to that of Crystal Kaiser, a young black female who has been charged with a very serious crime of essentially plotting a murder. And she's about the same age as Kyle, also from Kenosha, and I drew some very interesting comparisons between those two cases. Once Kyle was given a $2 million bond, the world erupted. We can't believe that you would give such a person a bond of any kind. $2 million bond? It's pretty high. And as my other video shows, not terribly out of sync. Now, what is this idea, though, that maybe Kyle is a benefactor of white privilege? Well, let's take a look. Is that the case? Is there another case out there that might shed some light on whether Kyle benefited from his skin color? Hello out there. I'm trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dredd to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dredd Show.
Okay, so now we're going to be taking a look at a news item from Detroit. This is WXYZ, and their webpage, by the way, is loaded with advertisements. It will slow your system down, and I'm really kind of struggling with it here, but I think that we can get it to play. So with no further ado, let's go.
High crimes and low bonds. Tonight, the 7 investigators reveal how men and women just accused of attempted murder were allowed to walk out of jail for just a few $100.
The man who made it possible is a judge who's been under the microscope before, and a 7 investigator, Ross Jones, tells us his decisions have infuriated police and horrified victims.
It was like people scattered, running. I'm hit.
My grandson was upstairs. He said, get down, get down, get down.
17 people were shot in Detroit last weekend. 3 of them died.
It appears the suspect is targeting women in their early 50s.
All while police hunted down a suspected serial rapist and killer.
The violence we've been experiencing in the city of Detroit has been heartbreaking.
And in the midst of all of it, one Detroit judge said police and victims made our city less safe. When accused criminals in Detroit are arraigned on the weekends, it happens here at 34th District Court in Romulus, where Judge Dalton Roberson is assigned. At these weekend hearings, no one from the prosecutor's office is there due to understaffing. It's where Donald Smith was arraigned this month. At this home on Seabolt in Detroit, he's accused of getting into a fight with a 20-year-old man over his daughter. According to prosecutors, Smith chased him up the stairs, pointed a gun at his head, and then shot him in the neck. With 2 felony convictions in his past, Smith was charged with assault with intent to murder and a whole host of other charges that run a full page long. This month, Roberson set his bond at $5,000, 10%, meaning Smith only had to pay $500 before walking out of jail.
Simply ridiculous. I mean, what message are we sending to people who engage in violent predatory crime? The message is it's not that serious.
Okay, so $500 bond. The man tried to kill somebody by shooting him, and he aimed for his head, got him in the neck. $500 plus 2 prior felony convictions. Kyle didn't have any.
There's Jeffrey Sims. According to prosecutors at this gas station on Fenkel, he approached his victim, shoved him into the back of his car, and beat him in the head with a baseball bat. Charged with assault with intent to murder and unlawful imprisonment, Roberson let him walk out of jail too after posting $500.
Now, who out there thinks this is reasonable?
And there's Giovanna Williams. According to police and prosecutors, she came to this home on Rosemont and set it on fire, all while 3 women were inside. One of the victims didn't feel comfortable talking to us on camera, but said she was horrified to learn the alleged perpetrator, charged with attempted murder, walked out of jail for $500.
The public has a right to have a sense of safety.
Monica Briggins' own.
Okay, so notice something. Tried to burn people alive in a house. $500. Keep in mind, one of the people didn't want to identify herself. She still fears this person. This person is out on the loose. $500.
Of Detroit bail bonds, one of the many bail companies responsible for ensuring defendants like these show up to court.
So you want to make it a situation where they feel and understand that this is a serious situation. $500, I mean, anybody can pick up $500 to pay a bond.
Back in December, Judge Roberson gave this man a low bond too, Nathan Payne. He and another suspect were accused of violently attacking a woman seen on camera being beaten with a hammer. Charged with assault with intent to murder, he too walked out of jail for $500, but he never came back. He's been on the run for 161 days and counting.
We can't have certain people roaming the streets of Detroit. They're going to reoffend, and what are we supposed to do?
In response to our story, Judge Roberson sent us an email. Even though all three defendants were arraigned less than 2 weeks ago, he said he has no specific knowledge of any of those cases, but stressed that each defendant is presumed to be innocent.
I don't know where he got his law degree. I'm not a lawyer. I mean, I don't have any background in law, and even I know better than this. Bail is set according to the crimes that have been levied against the defendant, and these crimes are to be judged according to prima facie. In other words, at face value. In other words, the judge is not to assume that they have not committed the crimes, just the opposite. The judge is going to give the prosecution the most leeway in this. He's going to assume that these crimes are in fact what the defendant has committed and set bail correspondingly. I have no idea what the hell this guy is thinking. You can't just assume people are innocent when setting bail. If you did, you wouldn't give any of them bail. After all, Charles Manson, he's up in front of you and he's looking for bail. And you say, well, he's innocent until proven guilty. What the hell? I don't know. We really need to up the legal education in our country.
Adding that he always considers whether the defendant poses a threat to the community and if they're likely to return to court when setting their bond.
Yeah, these people never did really pose much of a threat to the community. One of them tried to burn a bunch of people alive in a house, and one of those people, it doesn't even want to get identified out of fear of retribution. Yeah, that person is not a danger to the community. There's two more. One of those tried to kill a man with a baseball bat by essentially kidnapping him. And another one shot a person in the neck and had 2 prior felonies.
Try to understand the impact that this is having on public safety. What if it was someone in your family?
Well, it's not just police and victims that were upset over these bonds Roberson handed out. Prosecutor Kim Worthy isn't pleased either. Yesterday, her office convinced one judge to raise the bond of Giovanna Williams, the woman accused of setting someone's house on fire, from $5,000, 10%, to $25,000, and required she wear a GPS tether. At a hearing later this month, they'll ask another judge to raise the bond of Donald Smith, who's accused of shooting a man in the neck. Yesterday, Judge Ronald Giles was asked to raise the bond of Jeffrey Sims, who's accused of beating a man in the head with a baseball bat, but he declined. All 3 defendants have pleaded not guilty.
Thinking we haven't heard the last of this.
I suspect you're right.
Yeah, and you wonder why, so we'll have to get down to
Indeed.
that.
Well, these happen on the weekend. There's no prosecutor there. There are fewer eyes watching, and so these kinds of things happen.
All right, Ross, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so white privilege? I don't think so. If you look at the charge against Kyle Rittenhouse, he's accused of essentially murder. 2 individuals and seriously hurting another. And Crystal Kaiser, who has been charged with murder of the first degree, and she actually has been accused of plotting the murder. was released on $400,000 bail. So is Kyle's $2 million bail a sign of white privilege? Oh, hell no. Hell no. Don't want to hear that argument anymore. $2 million bail, in my opinion, was excessive, considering he really didn't pose much of a flight risk, and he did not really pose much of a danger to the community. These three individuals are more dangerous to the community than Kyle. At any rate, subscribe to my channel, press the like button, and wait for more videos.